Hey everybody, welcome to So Many Sequels, your book club for movies. I'm Josh.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm David.
Welcome to the show. It is July. It is blockbuster season here on the show and at the movie theaters, and we're going to be talking about it all month long. Starting off,
I also heard the rumor that Legos is going to be releasing a blockbuster set, potentially.
like the store,
Like the store.
I would be interested in that.
I agree.
A blockbuster Lego set. Yeah, I'm going to Google that. That sounds fun. I definitely want one of those. We'll be talking about blockbusters all month long, and maybe Legos. Who knows? We'll be kicking things off this week with Jurassic World Rebirth on the show today. Very excited about that. Let's see here. I was trying to find where we've got the little plot. There it is. Okay. 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the one that we don't talk about, the planet's ecology, the one that we don't talk about. Maybe the one that we don't talk about the most is a good way to put that. The planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. Those remaining exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates resembling the one in which they once thrived. Three most colossal creatures within that tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. And also, left out of that thing is another important note I felt like, is that nobody cares about dinosaurs anymore. Is a big focus of the movie.
Yeah.
It's not just that they
Once
only live
again.
on the equator, it's that no one cares.
Yeah. People are over it.
This, of course, is the second reboot of the Jurassic franchise. This time we are bringing Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali as, I guess you'd
And
call
Jonathan
them.
Bailey.
And Jonathan Bailey, yes. He's there. To the cast this time as the new main characters, as well as a group of people who are also there as a family for some reason. We'll talk about them as well. But this is Jurassic World Rebirth. Let's get started here with our expectations. This should be fairly easy. We covered the last Jurassic World franchise on this show, so I don't think our thoughts are too secret. David, you go first. What were your expectations?
My optimism for this movie started to grow a month or two ago. Like I started, mostly because of the NBA playoffs. I think they had a lot of Jurassic World advertising during the NBA playoffs. So I was like, you know what, maybe this will be pretty fun. I don't know. So I started to feel a little bit more positively about it. When it was first announced, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want that much. I remember thinking Gareth Edwards as a director. I was like, if someone can make it work, maybe it's him, because he's done some interesting stuff. I wanted to feel optimistic. But as the word of mouth and early reviews started to come in Wednesday, July 2nd, through sort of the morning I saw it Saturday, and it was kind of my expectations started to lower quite a bit. So I was kind of ready for this to not be as good as I hoped.
Yeah.
So that probably helped. And then also, expectations got sort of drowned out by the alarms that I mentioned earlier this week.
Fair. That's true. That's a valid complaint. What about you, Garrett? You were just as unhappy with the last one as most of us.
Yeah, I would say that I hate the Dominion. I would say that I hate it. I would say that it's one of the dumbest, all of it, one of the dumbest things that they could have done.
Wasn't it about
whoever was
crickets in the
involved.
end or something like that?
And people reduce it to being mostly about the locusts, but I think it had greater problems than that personally.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was the first one or the second one, but once they started trying to involve people in whatever they were doing, I was like, I was out.
Well, yeah, and they
took it
abandoned
away
that
that I was
storyline
like, this
altogether
is
after the
so.
second one.
The way they took it was so stupid. The direction that they had, I mean, the whole idea that they had was just stupid, and I couldn't pretend that I enjoyed any of the scenes in it. So I had written it off. I was angry. Made me reflect on the entire Jurassic Park franchise and realize that there's only one really good one, and some that
everybody
other
agrees on
people
that.
like. Your mileage may vary for each. So when they announced the reboot, I was like, Jesus Lord, just let it fossilize for a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Hey.
We don't need it right now.
Yeah.
And so I had none. And I remained at this dead inside, don't care, only gonna see it just because, well, at this point in time, the show. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I was going in my expectations.
Yeah, my expectations were fairly middling. I was hopeful as far as you could be with a new cast. You know, I like Scarlett Johansson. I like Mahershala Ali. I like Jonathan Bailey from what I've been seeing. He's kind of newer to me, but still, he's good. He's good. So I kind of thought, you know, let's see where it goes. This is the eighth movie, I think, in the Jurassic Park / World
I
universe.
think
So
it's 7.
maybe 7. So it's up there. One of them. And I don't know. I was trying. I wanted to be open to the idea of, can dinosaurs on the screen still be a fun time? And that's where I tried to hold my expectations. So not great, I guess is where I'd put it. But I don't know. I want to try to start out on a positive note from what I did enjoy about it, which is I did enjoy the new core characters. I have complaints about the family,
Yeah.
but the
Okay.
core characters I liked. I think better than the I don't remember their names, but the Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard characters. I didn't care for
Melanie
them
Claire, yeah.
at all. ScarJo, I like her.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah. So that was nice. And then what I also liked was they spent more time with dinosaurs that I don't feel like they put on screen all the time. This wasn't just a retread of raptor and T-Rex fights, although there is some of that. There was some other stuff going on too, and a more simplified story. I still have issues with it, but it was less complex. It was more of a look. Here's a billionaire. He needs to collect these samples from 3 dinosaurs. You're on a mission to collect 3 dinosaur samples, and then you're out. That's a simple movie plot. I can follow that. Then the family comes in.
Mm-hmm.
These are my thoughts. Where are you guys with me so far?
Well,
How do you like this setup?
I mean, I
you
agree
intrigued
with you. I
at
mean,
all?
look, it is a very, it's a very simple premise of like, hey, this dino DNA may yield medical breakthroughs. Okay, all right. I mean, it feels very basic, but it gets us towards dinosaurs. So okay, I guess let's go with that. I appreciate the idea that like it's not necessarily like a new continuity or anything. It's like this is after the events of all these movies you've seen before. Dinosaurs have kind of dwindled. I do think it's funny that in the universe, they said this in the first Jurassic World movie, but in universe, people are not that excited about dinosaurs anymore. And to a lot of people, they seem to go like, that's stupid. Why would people ever not be interested in dinosaurs roaming the earth? But then I just kind of look at the response to the films, and like the response to the films is usually like, it's just the same old dinosaurs. And I'm always kind of like, yeah,
If dinosaurs really came back in 1993, by 2025,
Yeah.
I completely agree. Most people would not care, and they'd just be at the zoo. Yes.
Yeah, they'd be like whatever.
do.
I mean, that happened. And there was even someone I saw online talking about the scene where there is a scene, not a big spoiler here, but there was a scene where Jonathan Bailey gets to like touch a dinosaur that he's always dreamed of seeing and stuff like that, and it's very special to him. And somebody was complaining like, who cares? Like, we've seen dinosaurs, like we've seen this exact same scene before. And I was like, yeah, people don't care about dinosaurs anymore. I don't know, but I thought, okay, look, I'll get into. I'm gonna to talk about the story part, like you were talking about, Josh. It's very simple, but there are 2 stories going on here, more or less. Like they do intertwine, but there is a story about this family that gets stranded and is just trying to survive dinosaurs, and then there's a story about these, squatted up scientist mercenaries who are trying to hunt some dinosaurs so they can get their DNA. I would have taken either of those stories separately, because either of those yield different opportunities, right? You could have had like a Quiet Place story with dinosaurs if you just focus on the family. You could have had something kind of more exciting and action focused, with the Scarlett Johansson story. Together, I just found myself wanting. I just found myself listening. I was just kind of like, I don't want to be with this story right now. Like, you just got things going with like this other situation over here, and you're cutting back so I can watch this argument between the boyfriend and the dad. Ugh, I don't know. What'd you think, Garrett?
I don't disagree with anything that you all have said for the most part, but I think that I enjoyed it more. I think that's my general takeaway is the story I thought was silly. How do you know that this blood sample from these things are going to help people? You know, some of the things that were just a little bit too like, I don't care. But what I did enjoy, again, was the action pieces. You got to spend time with the dinosaurs. You got to see different dinosaurs, like you mentioned, Josh. And I think that is, it felt to me refreshing because of this. It didn't feel like it was just trying to tie itself to the original one. Yes, there are a ton of homages, and if you are familiar with the franchise, you'll see them, and there are some that are obvious that everyone will recognize, right? So it's kind of a fun little game to play. But I do like that they, you know, as much as I want to see more, like, dinosaurs interacting with people in the city, like, you know, we got that in, the second one? I think that is a fun way to explore things like, you know, immediate after. But because they have this timeline now, I do think that this sets up like a way to set up Jurassic Park in a more fun way, David, because I didn't mind the mingling of the stories, but I do agree that if they would have focused on one, they could have done more things. You know, I have been desperately wanting a Jurassic Park horror movie because dinosaurs are scary. And so you could have had, like you said, mentioned the Quiet Place in there. And then the action-adventure story aspect that they gave us. I really did enjoy that because there was so much action and tension. And I was really excited and kind of on the edge of my seat during those action moments. Yeah. Chris Pratt riding on a motorcycle, kicking a dinosaur in the face, doesn't do it for me. You know what does do it for me? A realistic scenario where you are in... just out and about living, and there is a dinosaur all of a sudden that is there, because that is scary, right? That can be fun for so many different ways. So I think I enjoyed the action pieces. This is the stuff that I had been wanting that I did not get from the other two reboot, or from the first reboot in any way outside of the first movie. And so some of these pieces that they gave me, I really enjoyed, while being able to acknowledge that the story was pretty dumb.
I'm glad you said that because I also enjoyed the action pieces for the most part quite a bit. And I really liked the stuff on the ocean when the family's boat is first attacked by a dinosaur, and then when these two parties meet up and there's another kind of action sequence on the water. That stuff is cool, and I don't think we've seen that in Jurassic Park movies before. And it was intense. Like, I also had some edge of my seat moments watching that. Where I got sucked out though was always, man, it was that family. I think a lot of it, and I think it was because I didn't like those characters as much as the other characters. No. You know, you have here, and this is just my opinion of these people, which is, you know, could be wrong, it doesn't matter. The boyfriend, okay, I get it. He's just a slob.
Lazy.
He's just a lazy slob.
He's
got a bad attitude
present
most
him
of
as
the time.
not very good.
Then you got the dad who seems well-intentioned, but has some of the worst fatherly instincts I think I've ever seen on film. He picks every scenario that puts his kids in direct danger. Yeah. And then the two daughters, like, I don't know. The little girl, she's fine, I guess. But then the older girl, I'm like, well, why do you like this POS so much? You bring nothing to this. I don't know. They bring nothing to the movie is the thing.
No, like the teen girl is just there to be angry.
And the fact that
she got kicked off a boat.
The plot continues regardless of what they're doing, because it revolves around these dinosaurs and the samples anyway. So I'm like, they don't contribute to the actual premise ever.
No, they're there to be scared. Like,
but
that's
there
part
are
of their
aspects. I think they just maybe if they were better, if there were characters I liked more, maybe I'd like it better from that angle. But yeah, they're two separate plot lines, and I think there is another movie in the idea of a family stranded on Jurassic Island.
Yeah, I think you could, and then you can explore all kinds of family dynamics and character things, and how the experience of being stranded there brings that out of them. I mean, that's a little bit of like Jurassic Park 3, but it would be more interesting because you wouldn't necessarily have like someone like Alan Grant or somebody there who's like a super dino expert to like guide you through it. So I think it provides that opportunity, and allows you to kind of play with that horror element that maybe Garrett's talking about too, because you don't have to have anybody die, but just the constant threat of being hunted.
You got to see people
being eaten. Somebody die.
Well, you could have like the boat, whoever drove the boat to get them there, airplane or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, for a good horror movie, it doesn't have to have somebody die. Just that constant threat of being hunted would be enough to really freak you out.
Well, and again, I think that they have created something, and it would be really interesting to see if they explore, because this takes place several years after the timeline. So I feel like you can set yourself up for any time in that timeline to just explore a different Jurassic World story, right? Yeah. It doesn't have to connect. You can be, again, in the city, in the middle of the city, 2 months after the dinosaurs escaped. Like, you can have that, because that would be terrifying, and seeing some of these different pieces and exploring some of these different stories. And it can be, action. It can be horror. It can be mercenaries trying to be like, oh, I want a pet, it can be. That was kind of the whole second franchise, actually. So,
well, I mean, that thing is like, unfortunately, that is sort of the tease of the ending of Fallen Kingdom, the end of it, where all these dinosaurs escape into the wild, right? And Dominion doesn't deliver on that to the extent that we all expected. Like, we were all expecting, like, oh, dinosaurs are roaming, the U.S., they're traveling south, the Mosasaurus is loose in the ocean, like, all these ideas that seem so cool, and it kind of gets reduced to like the opening credits in Dominion, and then we go on to like a story that really doesn't feel like it
awful.
Benefits from that. And then here, I do feel like there's something kind of lost in the fact that like the opening bit, like the movie opens with like text on screen, kind of giving you a lot of exposition, which is never a strong start for a movie, I feel like, even the Star Wars movies. But I do agree, the actual action and the dinosaurs themselves, even though I don't think there's any animatronics used in this one, the dinosaurs themselves look amazing. The action is very fun, and the team that's going after that, they're having fun. There is a lot of, I appreciate from a character's perspective to kind of like talk about that. There's a lot of time spent, like the first 45, 50 minutes, there's a lot of time spent trying to establish these characters before you get into the dinosaurs. And unfortunately for me, I don't feel like the characters they established were really like as interesting as they could have been. Everybody felt kind of stock character to me. Like, I am mercenary, don't want to talk about my past. I am the smuggler, who lost a child and how I'm sad about that. I am dinosaur researcher who wants to research dinosaurs. Like, the characters don't feel like they have that much going on. And then once the dinosaurs show up, it's like, okay, all right, now we're moving on. We're full throttle on dinosaur mode now, because we got Mosasauruses and Spinosauruses and T-Rexes and Titanosaurus and all that stuff, right? So it kind of it really shifts into full pace once we get into the hunt, if you will. I got something kind of controversial to say, if I can, and maybe you guys will agree with me, maybe you won't. I thought Mahershala Ali was really good in this. I like Jonathan Bailey. I feel like this is the most phoned in I've ever seen Scarlett Johansson. I was not getting it from her. It felt very, I don't know. She felt very weak to me in this movie.
I found her very funny and charming.
I would also disagree with David.
Interesting.
I would say that I agree that none of the characters have a ton of depth.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that either.
I would say that they tried to give them surface level depth, but I would say that she was like, as what she was given, she was quite funny and charming. I found her.
I don't know.
I will also say
she It felt like even the performance was surface level. It felt like she is more. She feels more authentic when she's like doing bits on SNL.
I did see a behind the scenes clip that the dinosaur Dolores is or was an
Real.
animatronic. Yes, that was a real
Oh, that's good.
little thing in her backpack, and all like he was
Yeah.
real.
I will
off-topic
say that
here,
is a
but-
downside. Like that is the thing that
Well,
makes
and that
the first
was-
one so key is the practical effects, and so like to have one is a big setback, right? I understand that like for the movie that they gave us, you have to do CGI and stuff like that. Just makes sense. You can't do practical effects for everything, but I like when they try. I also think that, and you know, we're riding spoilers, so you know, listen, don't listen, but I am tired of the mutant dinosaur aspect of it. Dinosaurs are scary themselves, and just because I get that, you know, the storyline is that people were tired of dinosaurs, so they had to create mutant dinosaurs. Great, fine, but like we've seen it now, and again, spoiler alert. But the mutant dinosaur that they had in this one just looked like a fat version of the Cloverfield monster. So like, can we just get away from the fake dinosaurs because they look like garbage and stick with the ones that we know because they're already scary.
So that's really, really interesting because from what I've seen, a lot of people's favorite part is the mutant dinosaurs. That's like everybody's like bored of the basic dinosaurs, and I've seen a lot of people be like, "Yeah, like you guys have worn out your welcome with the real dinosaurs. Just focus in on this mutant dinosaur thing and run with that because you guys
Whatever
don't know how to
social
do dinosaurs
media
anymore."
algorithm you got is negative.
I mean, it's popular movie reviewers and people who are like, that stuff's more interesting. People who are like watching people hunt dinosaurs that we've seen a million times, which we haven't. But that's so I don't agree with this take. I'm just saying this is why I find this interesting. But people are like, once people hunt the same dinosaurs that we've seen a billion times is boring. Like, you guys have a much more interesting story idea with these like weird mutant hybrids that were being concocted, and we get like, you know, in their opinion, we get like 30 minutes of that, and we get like no time with, we get way too much with everything else, and that to me is really fascinating because I would have assumed that people were going to clown the heck out of that, you know, xenomorph dinosaur.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a little taken aback by that too because in my head the outcome is the same. You still have a big CGI dinosaur that inevitably is beaten in some way in a Jurassic World movie, mutated or not. The outcome is the same. So like, I don't know. I'm with you, Garrett. I'm tired of the secrets. There's always like an uncovered secret, and it's the same secret. It's that someone is doing something shady with the DNA. It's every single time.
Yeah,
someone
every
is
time.
doing something shady
Every
with
time
the
they're
DNA.
doing something shady,
and it's always revealed like I'm supposed to be surprised by that. That's all they've ever done is be shady with the dino DNA. So like, then you have a big bad at the end, which is the mutated one, which I will say
T-Rex.
was way scarier in the prelude than he was when he was revealed as just like a T-Rex with a boil on his head
and 2 extra arms.
Like,
yeah,
he was
whatever
not
they
like
had
a-
in this one was
I did
like
not
the
find
Rancor.
him the most intimidating dinosaur in this movie.
no, and I think it doesn't matter, right? Like
No.
again, there's clearly
Don't matter.
a
It's not
want
close.
for this franchise
Yeah.
because people are going to see it, and they consistently have. So I think that's where they need to realize what they have is a winner, and you don't need to go like wild with it. You don't need to go way over the top. You have something that people want to see, and that is dinosaurs. Whether people are tired of it or not, they go see it. So people want to see dinosaur. And so even in this one, what they gave us a T-Rex, right? But they gave us a T-Rex in a way that we had never seen it before. And they didn't give it as the main piece. It was an aside. Same thing with the raptors that are in this one, right? So we did get something different. It wasn't like we got the same dinosaurs. And I would also encourage people to go watch Prehistoric Planet because that is freaking great. And it looks at some of these dinosaurs that were in there, the Pterosaurus and the Titanosaurus and the Mosasaurus, you know, all of these different things are there, and it's narrated by David Attenborough. Like, it is Planet Earth. It is incredible, but it's with dinosaurs, so it adds some context to this stuff, and it's really cool. So that was the vibe that I got in some of these moments too, was like they took a lot of this seriously, and they're paying attention to some of the historical elements that we're discovering more and more about the dinosaurs every day.
Well, this has been really interesting. Because I gotta be honest, I thought you guys were gonna hate it. So
I thought Garrett was really going to hate it, so I'm a little surprised too.
I was kind of conditioned, ready to come in here and like try to be positive, even though I didn't necessarily love it as much as okay, look, it's a thing. They've made 7 of these. It's not gonna be in the top 3. I can tell you that. And so,
Dominion
but at
was
the same
so
time,
bad. That
Dominion's really bad.
The Dominion was so bad, and the second one, Fallen Kingdom, was so bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I don't know how like a bad story, right? We've seen 2 of those almost back to back. We've seen 2 really awful stories from the reboot. We've seen 2 really dumb mutant dinosaurs from the reboot. So like, I don't know what people are talking about. This felt new and fresh to me, because this was stuff that I have never seen in any of the other ones before.
Because there's no park, there's no real ties. I mean,
no
Jonathan Bailey's
characters.
character offhand mentions that he studied under Alan Grant at one point. That's kind of like the main reference.
Right.
Obviously Engine is there, and Engine was a big thing in the other movies, but like not to the point where they like go hard on that. It's gonna be interesting to see kind of like where I want to rank it between, like, do I rank it higher than Fallen Kingdom or not? Because I do kind of like the first half of Fallen Kingdom, where they're trying to get the dinos off the island. That said, so I think a lot of people, I think the weight of the name Jurassic Park weighs so heavy, because if you look at anybody's opinion, literally anybody will tell you this, the only good one is the first one. That's what everybody says. And so I keep saying, guys, stop holding any of these movies to the standard of the first movie. These are all sequels to The Lost World. These are all sequels to the second one. So, like, if none of these movies have been good, why do you guys keep acting like the 7th one is suddenly going to impress you? It's very difficult to just overcome. And I honestly, I think it's entirely plausible that if the first Jurassic Park movie came out today, exactly like as is, people might not like it.
Wow. Okay.
No way to prove that,
that,
obviously.
No.
But like, I feel like people would say it's slow, and people would say that, like, I don't know why these kids are here. There'd be a bunch of people saying it's not enough like the book. Like, there'd be all kinds of weird hang-ups about the movie that people would have about it if like Jurassic Park came out today.
I want to blame the movie a little bit for that. You know why? Because in every single movie, after the first one, everybody hates the dinosaurs. This is the first movie that I feel like there has been a sense of wonder. And I know that scene that we're mentioning in this one feels like the first one. But that is the only time that I can recall at any point in time outside of the first one where anyone has been excited to see these things that they have never seen before, in a sense of like, this is the most amazing thing that I have ever seen, because it's a dinosaur, y'all. That is a wondrous thing. And us as people who are not living in the world where dinosaurs have existed for 47 years or whatever, I want that sense of wonder. I don't want to hate the dinosaurs. I want to be like, wow, this is awesome, and then be eaten. I don't want them to be hated.
Well, I think that's. I think you're wrong on that. We should really go back.
When
we watched
do you see the sense of wonder in any of them?
You think that these movies don't present them as the villains basically every time after the first one?
No, I mean,
I think
look,
that
the Tyrannosaurus Rex is usually obviously a formidable foe. You get the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3, but all of them contain sequences where the characters express their wonder. There's a specific line in Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, The Lost World, where they're all amazed and stunned and watching these Stegosauruses cross the river, and they're all just like, wow, and amazed. And that's when Jeff Goldblum comes in with the, yes, it starts off with the wows and the ahs, and then it's running and screaming. And, there is that aspect of, yes, always the balance of fear versus wonder of these creatures is all I think always a part of it. There's a sequence in Jurassic Park 3 where they're amazed by these dinosaurs, but obviously there's this bigger Spinosaurus that's chasing them. In Jurassic World, there's that part where the Mosasaurus eats the shark. It's that kind of iconic scene from that movie where the Mosasaurus comes over and eats the shark, and it's like the first time in that point in the movie that one of the characters who's very cynical about the whole thing actually is a little bit like taken aback and a little bit like, oh my gosh, that was cool. The little kid in that
whole
movie
thing is wrapped in the cynicism of Jurassic World being a park that it,
That's true, but you still have like one of the main characters of that movie is the little kid, the little Iron Man kid running around being like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to him. He gets to go to Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, whatever they call it, and he's like listing dinosaur facts and he's so excited to be there. The second one,
But
them trying to save the dinosaurs is like a big part of that.
It's not the same thing. Like, I get that there are people who want the dinosaurs there, but again, it is wrapped up in the same, like, because they're like, because Jeff Goldblum is there, that sense of wonder is immediately stepped on by a human being who is villainizing the dinosaurs, and so is all of those, like the little brother who is there. He is immediately shut down by his older brother, who is like, dinosaurs are stupid, man. So every time that they deliver that, there is a human being who is there to stomp out the sense of wonder in someone, as opposed to a dinosaur doing it. If a dinosaur does it, that makes sense. But if every time you're like, wow, this is great, and then someone is there to tell you, no, this is awful, this is the worst thing that you've ever seen, that is the narrative.
Alan Grant, and that's Jeff Goldblum in the first movie. The whole first movie is that balance of this is amazing, and then other characters telling you, no, this is an abomination to God. Like, that's the whole... Like, this whole thing is a Frankenstein story where, yes, it's amazing that they did this, but it's also like an awful thing that they've done this.
But I don't need that
is a commentary
in
on
every
capitalism
single
as
one.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
When it's the same
that's
characters and they do the same thing over and over again, yes, this can be the same thing, but it's different. It is fresh.
And as much
there
as...
is an authenticity there as opposed to going in with a cynicism. Because in the other one, when you have all of those characters there, you have nothing but cynicism to drive down that. It makes you remember that. This, again, the freshness, the feeling that it got, the sense of wonder, it felt authentic because it wasn't immediately sat by people that we are familiar with in the other franchises who are the cynics. I get it. I do. But my point is, they are so connected to the cynicism that the sense of wonder lasts for 30 seconds. This one had that element of, wow, these things are truly terrifying and majestic, with an appreciation of them as opposed to a hatred to them.
And I would, other than the Indominus Rex or the Indoraptor in the second one, I don't think there's any like hatred towards any of the dinosaurs. That's a pretty active part.
Alan Grant hates them. Jeff Goldblum hates them. They all hate them.
That's because he hates what John Hammond has created, and he hates he hates the idea of bringing these dinosaurs back to life to market them. Like, he doesn't hate them.
No, he does.
All right. That's like your opinion, man.
It's just like your opinion, man.
Facts.
Let us know your opinion, man. At so many
They respect the wonder of it,
No, no, they don't.
Some
the movies certainly don't.
No.
Well, the bad guys in the Lost World are humans. Like, the bad guys in most of these movies are humans. But the dinosaurs are forces of nature.
Yes.
True. Yes, that part. Yes.
They're not really bad guys. They are scary, though.
They present the mass.
Let's do our final review and rating now.
Well, I said going...
Yeah.
Go ahead. Who's going to go first? I think I'm on a...
No, I was just asking who he was pitching to. Go for it. No, it's me.
The highest I think I can give this is 3 stars. I thought it was pretty fine. I think in 10 to 15 years, I think people would like this a lot more. Just like I like Jurassic Park 3 because I watched it on TV a lot as a kid, and it was, to me, really good in that environment. So I could see people, a few years down the road enjoying this more than current audiences are. I think it's pretty serviceable, and I don't think it's I couldn't really call it bad, but I am curious, like a few months from now, how I feel about it in retrospect. So we'll see. For now, a tentative 3 stars.
Garrett?
I would say that this one actually, despite whatever people are saying, is the first one that feels like a good-ish movie since the first one. Simple story, very familiar. Again, it's difficult to recreate, but you know what they don't do? They don't just recreate every single aspect like the first one did of the first movie. That's why that's so good. They, Star Wars'd it. Then after that, the second two are just hot trash. And I don't know what people have that they like about them, but I would love to better understand why they think they're good. So after the devastation that those two caused to the franchise, this one, again, just made it feel fresh. And while simple, it was so much more entertaining to watch. It didn't feel like the same thing. People are crazy if they're saying that. Having said that, it's not an amazing movie. It's still 3 stars. It's good.
You sons of bitches. All three of us are going to give this 3 stars, and we argued about it so hard.
Sure.
This is so stupid.
Yeah.
Well, we argued about the franchise. We argued about the franchise as a whole, really.
We all agreed about the movie, yeah.
Because I think it is a significant leap above what the last attempt was, and I'm hopeful. I mean, they're going to make more because we've seen this huge weekend, unless it just totally tanks in its second, which I don't see.
It's possible.
It'll go somewhere from here. So I'll be interested to see where they go with these characters and the story. I like the idea of
Give me new characters.
of the dinosaurs returning to a somewhat natural environment.
Jurassic Park anthology, y'all. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, especially if they are truly around the world, because I know they say they center around the equator, which the science on that felt sketchy to me too. I was like, oh, that's just how the Earth was a bajillion years ago is how it is at the equator now. Okay. But that's the Jurassic Park science of it all, the fun stuff there. I also, one other thing I nitpicked in the midst of it, I was like, they just because they just have big hearts. That's why you need these 3. They have the biggest literal cardiovascular muscles.
No,
Okay.
When they were like, "Oh, we need one that flies, one that swims, and one that walks on land," I was like,
By
"Why?
land, by sea,
Why
and
would
by
that
air.
be a thing?
The biggest,
Like, why
ones with
would
the
that
biggest parts.
specific?"
So
Okay,
that stuff I could
whatever.
laugh at, but still found enjoyable because it was goofy. So yeah, 3 stars for me
Yeah.
too. Bam, perfect 3 from the So Many Sequels crew.
Woo!
I hate that.
I love that we, again, hey, there's nothing wrong with the same rating. We had a very interesting conversation.
It's just
about
hilarious to me when it feels like it's gonna be so different, and then it's the exact same.
Heck, same, yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look at some of the most popular reviews of Jurassic World Rebirth right now on Letterboxd. 3.5 stars. God bless Jonathan Bailey. 3.5 stars. Dolores must be protected at all costs.
Oh, someone actually liked Dolores. Interesting.
2.5 stars. The best part of this movie is clearly Jonathan Bailey and his slutty little glasses.
Yeah, that's a meme going around.
Wow.
I like this one. 3 stars. Megamind looking ass dinosaur.
For real, though. Looked so dumb.
And then finally, 3.5 stars. I'd forgotten how nice it was to watch a Jurassic movie that doesn't star Chris Pratt.
Yeah, that's lame. All right. Let's
I like that as
let's
a
guess.
5-star review. I think that it's gonna be right where we have it. I mean, I don't know how I can go anywhere different than a 3.
Okay.
Josh, I believe you're next.
Well, I'm gonna go south by a smidge and pick 2.9.
That's a good spot. Much like many characters in the Jurassic World franchise, today's audience is very cynical, so I'm going to go with a 2.7.
Okay. Let's see here. We got a 3, a 2.9, and a 2.7. Oh no, we have to do a tiebreaker.
Oh,
No.
It's 2.8.
No, It's a 2.8. Where our new system was we split the point. Remember?
Oh well, I don't know actually.
So-
So then just count it however it's counted.
Yeah. So that's a 1 for me and a 1 for Josh. Then.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a little surprised just because it's the first week.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people are determined not to like new movies for a lot of different reasons. I don't really know why.
This is how it goes, and this can tie into some of the conversation we had on Discord recently, which you can join. Go to SoManySequels.com. This is what at least the American viewing audience is doing right now. I'm so sick of the same old crap, but I will not pay for anything but the same old crap. In fact, take all my money and do not give me anything new. But that's all I want.
And I will complain about the crap that I'm given, even though that's what I continue to pay for.
We don't like this 8th Jurassic Park movie. Well, you just made it the best July 4th opening of all time. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. Life of Chuck? How about Life of Shut Up? I'm going to go watch the same thing that I complained about last 2-3 years ago.
Last rant out, but it needed to be said.
I put it up at the front, y'all.
Well, it just kills me.
Hey, listen, if you don't believe us, go listen to our mid-year review that was just dropped and tell us that you haven't seen all of these sequels and movies that are just 2000 reboots already. You've either seen them in 2000s
or
you've seen them
sequels
now.
or game adaptations or whatever.
Yeah. Same second verse, same as the first. Everything is a repeat forever until we all die.
On that note.
See ya.
On that note, yeah, no. That is it for us today. Be sure you go to SoManySequels.com and subscribe to the show wherever you get podcasts. You can get videos on Spotify and on YouTube. And you can follow us on social media. We like to post on Instagram and Threads and TikTok sometimes. So go find us there. Let us know what you're watching this summer. We would love to hear from you. We will see you guys next week, hopefully with a review of the new Superman movie. So be sure you go grab your tickets for that. I was looking the other day. They're already filling up, boys. It's filling up fast. So
better get it soon.
We'll see you guys then. Bye.